Jeff, your host, and this is a Philadelphia night of sports. Let me get settled here on the couch. Just got home from our favorite place with my wife, and wow, do we have a lot of sports going on right now. All Philadelphia, too. Where do we begin? Um, we begin with the Flyers. I am watching. Oh my gosh. Their goalie is one of the greatest I've ever seen right now, the Flyers goalie, Ladar. This Carolina team is like crazy good. It's 2-2 in overtime right now. We are in the second round of the playoffs. And wow, playoff hockey, guys. Did I tell you playoff hockey's good? What's wrong with this phone? Let's get this phone better. What's up, everybody? What is going on tonight? Did anybody get to watch last night's? You guys finally got to meet Bruce. Finally did. My trusty little iPad. And it just got too frustrating, guys. That iPad. I did not like going live with it. I don't know what it was. It was the chat would just keep fading away and it just got too aggravating. So you guys got to, if you didn't see last night, go back and you can watch the introduction with Bruce, and I give you a whole entire lesson what to do to get going with Bruce. If you have any questions, then just let me know. Anyway, Flyers break away to win it, and he misses it. Oh my goodness. So Flyers are in overtime. The Sixers are getting absolutely manhandled by the New York Knicks, and the Phillies won tonight. So wow, that's awesome. That is really awesome. It was the first time ever at my wife and I. We have our favorite sports bar. It was the first time I remember watching all three games at the same time. All three teams: Phillies, Flyers, Sixers. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. All right. Anyway, I don't think the younger crowd is on, so let me get my laptop. And for the older crowd here, uh, hello, Megan. How are you? We're gonna look at Jodi Arias. Does anybody know anything about this girl? This, I get fascinated at these crimes cases. You're good, Megan. Megan, you know the rules in this channel: age and what state are you in? And do you know who Jodi Arias is? For those of you who don't know, you're about to learn who this crazy woman did one of the craziest, weirdest things ever. It's a crime story, and I don't know where to begin with this. Hey, what's up, Speedy? Ice, you're watching Ice? Watching the Flyers right now. Still 2-2, tied with Carolina. All right, so we're gonna look at Jodi Arias, and her name popped up on the news, and I did not see what she is doing in jail. Something is going on with Jodi Arias. Joey, who's Joey? Okay, so we're looking up Jodi Arias here. I want to know why she's in the news first of all. But let's give you a background story before I don't know what's going on, why she's back in the news. So and I'll show you guys this poor guy Travis that she murdered. Travis Alexander, 15 years ago. So let's see, where is Jodi Arias now, 15 years after the murder? So here, I'll tell you what I know before I even read any of this, because I watched this whole thing 15 years ago. From what I know, this took place in Arizona. Jodi Arias had a boyfriend. They're in their 20s, both of them, I believe, or early. Oh, man, the Flyers lost. Flyers lost. So the Flyers lose. So what am I going to do? Put on the Sixers now and watch them finish getting their heads pounded in? Well, at least the Phillies won. Okay, so Jodi Arias. Let me get you her picture here, guys. You got to see her. She's I don't know how to describe her. Where did it go? That's her. Jodi Arias is an amazing case. Um, did you ever know somebody? This is all her right there. All these pictures of her. Did you guys ever? Do any of you have friends? She's young. She was young. She's young. Do you guys? I mean, almost all of us know somebody that. Oh, I am sorry about that, guys. Somebody that has such a bad temper that they would kill someone. Do you know in your life somebody that has such a horrible? Now let me get a little more granular. Do you know a girl in her 20s that if she got cheated on or betrayed, that she could get crazy enough to kill? Do you guys know somebody like that? That's Jodi Arias. Jodi Arias, when she was on the stand, now I watched this whole thing live 15 years ago. When she was on the stand, she was quiet and subtle. And you know what she even said on the stand? I couldn't hurt a fly. And part of me believed it. So quiet, innocent, skinny, no different than any other girl you would see, anywhere in school, whatever. Jodi Arias. But what she did will amaze you. I still don't understand where this rage of anger came. Let's take a look at her. Let's take a look at Jodi Arias. And I mean, she was, like it says, courtroom drama. So, from what I know, she had a boyfriend, Travis. He comes, I believe it was her apartment or his. It might have been his. Let's look at images here, and you know they're together that night, if you know what I mean. And then after they're together, he goes into the shower, and she absolutely, after they were just together, she goes into the shower and stabs him, I think, 27 times. Now, some of the stories said that Travis told her that he had another girl, he was leaving her. So Zarmo says, I just broke up with my ex like a month ago. She harassed me and threw a chair into my car window. I definitely say she would be one of those. Okay. So Zarma's here. Zarmos, I'd like to know your age and what state or country you're from. Um, so yeah, I mean this girl here, but if you would have seen her on the thing that blew me away was the courtroom, how she was quiet, and there's poor Travis there. There's Travis, and she said she couldn't hurt a fly. So it's almost like, and we're going to get into the case of Christopher Watts in another show, but it's almost like a demon possesses these people, and it's like she didn't even know what she did. She didn't even know what she did. So she murders this guy. Let me read just a little bit of it to you. You can look at Travis while I read here. So Travis, born in 1977, an American salesman who was murdered by his ex-girlfriend, Jodi Arias, who was born in 1980. in his house in Mesa, Arizona, while in the shower. Arias was convicted of first-degree murder on May 8th, 2013, and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He sustained 27 stab wounds. Okay, thank you, Zormos. A slit in the throat, a single gunshot wound to the forehead. So it isn't as enough that she absolutely manhandled this guy with a knife. Then she's got to finish him off and shoot him in the head after slitting his throat. She testified that she killed him in self-defense, which nobody believed, which is the most ridiculous thing. He was in the shower. She wasn't. She purposely just waited until he was vulnerable. Sormo says it's something in their brain where I think they get so emotionally unstable, they kind of black out and go berserk. And you're right. My question is it a demon? Is this Satan? Is this a evil force that goes into these people's minds and to the point like Christopher Watt? And we're going to get to Christopher Watts. I don't know if it's Watt or Watts, but what he did was absolutely even worse than this. Um, but yes, like I remember Christopher Watts's interview where he said, uh, if I was thinking, this never would have happened. What he did, but Jody, same thing. Like you would never think in a million years watching the court case that she could hurt a fly. Soft spoken. I don't understand what possesses people. All right, let's read on. Slits his throat, single gunshot. She testified she killed him in self defense, but she was convicted first degree. During the sentencing phase, the jury deadlocked on the death penalty option, and Arias was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Hey, Isak, what's up? Isak, I put Bruce away, Isak. I couldn't do the iPad. It's sitting right next to me, but it was too frustrating, Isak. I'm sorry. I'll ask Bruce for you. I'll get you that answer. Isak, do you know about the Jodi Arias case? We're talking about Jodi, and I still don't know why she is in the news. It just came out, so we're gonna look that up and see why she just made the news. She's in prison, so whatever she did, it's in prison. She was sentenced to life in prison without parole. His death investigation trial, widespread media coverage. Okay. Um, okay, so Isak doesn't know who Jodi Arias is. Let's get him caught up. So this poor guy here has a insane girlfriend. They were in their 20s. Um, they were together one night, Mesa, Arizona, and after he's with her, he goes into the shower where she just went crazy, stabbed him 27 times, and then shot him, slit his throat after just being with him. Didn't we all have an insane girlfriend in our 20s? Yeah, I did too, but not one that right after we're together that would stab me 27 times and then slit my throat and shoot me. And then at the court case, she was so innocent sounding and tells the jury she couldn't hurt a fly. There, she looks kind of mean, but that is not the usual picture that you see of her. So let's look at some photos here. Give me a second. And I mean, really, this is just a fascinating case. Travis Alexander, the guy's name. Now, this happened 15 years ago. Um, and from what I remember of the case, he found another girl and told her after they just got done together. People can put up an act. Yeah, she's definitely a psychopath. No doubt about it. I watched the whole thing live as it happened. The court case. the whole deal. I'm trying to get you guys. Jodi Arias court case exposes dark obsession love. Let's see if this website will give us some good. Give us anything on the trial here. The Jodi Arias case, the trial that exposed a dark and obsessive love. I'll try to read this to you faster. The Jodi's case is a true story of Travis Alexander's 2008 murder and the former girlfriend whose changing the stories turned a private relationship into a nationally watched true crime trial. So, yeah, she kept changing her story. That's right. I remember that from 15 years ago. Let's see if we can. I'd like you to get some pictures while I read this. On the surface, Travis Alexander looked like a man whose life was opening, not closing. He was charismatic, sharply dressed, ambitious, deeply involved in faith. Friends remember him as the kind of person who could walk into a room and instantly raise the temperature of it, not being loud, by being focused, polished. He was a salesman. He sold legal services. Then Jodi Arias entered his world, and at first, nothing about it looked obviously doomed. So the two met in 2006 at a conference in Las Vegas, which I do remember hearing that. So they meet in Vegas, 2006. They were immediately drawn to each other. She was confident, photogenic, flirtatious, and intense in a way that can feel flattering before it starts to feel dangerous. Let's move on. Friends later described the relationship as turbulent, on and off, on again, full of attraction, but also suspicion. Let's say by the summer of 2008, Travis was preparing for a trip to Cancun with his friends. He was excited, according to people around him, trying to move on. So did they break up? Version. So is the guy dead? Yeah, yeah. Travis is dead as a doornail. She, like I said, after that night, they just got out of bed. He goes right into the shower afterwards, and she sneak attacks him, knife, 27 times, slits the throat, shoots him in the head right after being with him. Psycho. But it's like it was totally unexpected. She was very deeply in love with him, and I think he just announced that he was leaving her, breaking up with her. Let me see if I can get the discovery that changed everything. Jodi had already told police she had not been in Mesa, Arizona that day. She said she had not seen Travis for a long time, but now we're time-stamped photos. Yeah, so one of the things I believe was his cell phone or hers. One of them had pictures of the killing as it was taking place. So why do people care if this? Well, here's the thing: people care because I saw that she's back on the news, and I want to find out why she is back on the news. Whatever she's doing in jail, she's a drama queen. She's a drama queen. Um, I'm just giving you a background, and we'll look at some pictures here. So she told the police she had not been in Mesa that day. She said she had not seen him for a long time. There were time-stamped photos placing her inside the home at the exact window when he was killed. Her story began to crack almost immediately. At first, she even denied even having anything to do with it. Then she offered another explanation. Two intruders, she claimed, broke in. She just kept making up story after story, this girl. Um, as detectives and prosecutors rebuilt the final hours, the picture emerged was chilling. She had apparently traveled from California to Arizona in a rental car after making a series of odd decisions that looked far less innocent once the murder was known. There were questions about gasoline cans, about phone activity, efforts to minimize digital traces. Even small details began to look calculated. Let's move on. And yet, what made the case linger in people's minds was the emotional texture around it. Travis and Jody were not strangers connected by a single terrible event. They had a history, they had intimacy, they had private conversations, private resentments. The murder seemed to grow out of a relationship where affection and resentment had become tangled together. So let's keep going. The problem for Jody was that the physical evidence did not move with her stories. It stood still while she kept changing. Jurors heard about the camera, the blood evidence, the timing, and the severity of the wounds. They also heard about the intense and unstable nature of the relationship. But even in a case with complicated emotions, the violence itself remained impossible to explain away. Travis was not simply shot once, he was overwhelmed. The attack looked sustained, personal, and relentless. And she's so skinny. Like, I don't understand how she could do that to a big guy, but I guess if you sneak attack somebody, who knows? There was another reason the trial stayed into the headlines. It forced the public to sit inside the uncomfortable space where charm and menace overlap. Jody did not fit the easy picture many people carry in their minds when they imagine a killer. That's the thing that strikes me so, is that she doesn't look like the part that could do something like that. She did not look monstrous. She did not sound wild or visibly out of control. She often appeared controlled enough to make the facts feel even worse. People watching kept asking the same questions in different forms. How could someone seem so calm after something this violent? I think patriarchy forced her to do it. Yeah, I mean, it could have been. Could have been. I mean, I don't know her history. I'd like to know if she had any kind of mental background. In 2013, she was convicted of first degree. Sentencing, now remember, this happened in 2008. So she was convicted in 2013. That's how long it took. The sentencing phase dragged on through additional proceedings. 2015, she was ultimately sentenced to life in prison without possibility of release. By then, the case had already secured its place in true crime history. All right. If this story stayed with you, so what we're going to do is I want to. All right. Years later, Jodi Arias' case still holds attention because it feels like more than a courtroom drama. It feels like a warning about intensity mistaken for love, about the stories people tell when they are desperate not to lose control, and about terrifying damage one person can do when rejection becomes unbearable. For all the media noise, the book deals, the interviews, and endless replay of testimony, the center of the story never changed. A man was killed in his home by someone who once claimed to love him. And nearly everything that followed came down to one fact: the truth had to fight its way out through the layers of obsession, intimacy, and lies. All right, so we're going to find why. First, let's look at some pictures. Everybody likes to look at pictures. Let's look at a lot of them, and then we'll find out why is she in the news 15 years later. That is what I want to know. So let's look at this psycho woman, Jodi Arias. Dirty Little Secret. Jodi Arias bikini. No, we don't want to see that. Let's look at some pictures. Okay. So you tell me, does this look like someone who can stab somebody 27 times in the shower right after being with the guy? Now, I believe I do remember he broke up with her, told her that he's leaving for good. And I think that's what set her off in a rage when Travis but he shouldn't have been with her. If that was, she may have felt used. You know what I mean? If you use a girl and you're intimate with her, and then you tell her, "Hey, I'm leaving you for someone else." There they are together, happy as can be. Jodi Arias. They made a whole a book about her, or she wrote the book. I think she wrote the book in jail. Giving you lots of photos of Jodi. There's poor Travis. But I think his cell phone did grab footage. I believe that the cell phone played a key role in it. I mean, look at these pictures, guys. Like, this looks like an everyday common person that you would see in an office. You never know what is in the mind of a person. You never know what lies beneath. And we are going to talk about Christopher Watts, but not in this video. But he's another one. You just, that story is absolutely the Christopher Watts we're going to get into, because I have so many unanswered questions. I mean, I studied that case a lot. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, so we're going to find out why she is in the news today to answer Esau's. I think I forced her. Okay. Now, what did she do that she's in the news? Jodi Arias in the news. See if I can get something for you guys to find out. I'm curious why this psychopath made the news again. Latest legal developments, claims of lost evidence. In a January 2026 blog titled Hello 2026, Arias claimed the evidence in her case had been lost or destroyed. She has accused the lead detective and former prosecutor of disappearing this evidence and is now actively seeking new legal counsel to pursue the claims. Arias feels her current efforts for post-conviction relief have stalled after 5 years, fueling her search for a new legal team. All right, I guess that's it. Prison life. A new documentary from True Crime Arizona premiered in November 2025. It explores her psychological state and provides an inside look at her current life, including her role as a library aide and her involvement in prison music programs. Want to go watch Jodi sing? Yeah, and then maybe we'll go chop up some people with her. I don't understand it. Arias maintains an active blog called Just Jodi. Should we subscribe to her blog? On Substack. Has anybody heard of Substack? I guess it's some kind of, well, hey, that's what we're here for. Daily Dose of Jeff. We don't just read it. We're going to go look at it. What is Substack? Anybody know Substack? Uh-oh, somebody got blocked by YouTube. Thank you, but no, I am not going to pursue that profession. I guess that's a compliment. What this new person just said, I should switch careers. No, I'm happily married and do not need to pursue that career. Substack is an online platform that allows writers and creators to publish content directly to subscribers, offering both free and paid subscription options. All right, let's check out Substack. About Substack, substack.com. Anybody? Hey, we're learning something new, aren't we? All right, let's take a look, guys. Who's interested in Substack? You really think I would make a good star? Switching careers? No. Hello. I can't even say your name. What is that name? Does anybody see that guy's name? I don't know what to call you. BNA? I'm going to call you BNA. Wow, that's a long name. Is that your real name? Like all those letters are your first and last name? I don't know. All right, let's take a look at Substack. Make money doing the work you believe in. We are at substack.com. Do I know Russian? Strasti, Stravoiche, babushka. I'm giving you all the Russian words I know. Zhididi. I think I'm out of Russian words. I know Drago. All right, let's look at Substack. Start your Substack. Old media models are broken. Substack is building a new one that puts writers, creators, and subscribers in charge. Let's start my Substack. Type in my email. All right, well, we're not going to get into Substack, but there you go, guys. You just learned something. Anybody use Substack out there? I'm talking about Jodi Arias and Substack, and my man comes up with, do I know Russian? Okay, I can live with that. And another person told me I should switch professions and become an adult actor. I don't think my wife would like that one. All right, back to Jodi Arias. So Jodi, let's find out if there's anything else that Jodi is in the news for. Jodi Arias. But Esox, you're right. Like, we all had crazy girlfriends in our 20s. How do you detect a Jodi Arias? I mean, I don't think in my wildest fits of rage I really could do what she did. How about you guys? Let's say you were deeply in love and the other person tells you they're leaving you after just being with you, and now I'm leaving you for someone else, I'm not coming back. Would you be able to do what Jodi Arias did in your craziest of rage? I couldn't do that. How? Like I said, is this demonic? Does the devil get into you when you're that enraged? I know we do crazy things when we're enraged, but Jodi Arias takes enraged to another level. And here's the thing, no prior history of violence. None. No police records. Clean as a whistle. Falls for a guy she meets in Vegas. How do you. Well, Christopher Watts. There's another one. No, not one inkling of an ounce of trouble in the past with the law. Nothing. And Christopher Watts kills his wife and two beautiful little daughters. No sign of it coming anywhere. And he almost got away with it. We're going to get into Christopher Watts. Anybody out there know about that story? The Christopher Watts story. That one probably to me is the most fascinating in a bad way. The Christopher Watts, but it just leads me to believe this has got to be demonic. That they because everybody says the same thing. They don't know. They weren't thinking. Because if you're thinking, do people not realize the consequences of their actions? Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. You're throwing the rest of your life away for one act of rage? Jodi Arias was in her mid-20s, Born 1980. So what's that make her? She was 28. Why throw the rest of your life away because you're mad at a guy who's leaving you? Now you got to go to jail and wake up every day and knowing that you're not getting out unless you're Michael Scofield and you can break out. Don't understand it. I don't understand the Tyler Robinsons, the Luigi Mangionis, who mid-20s kills one guy, the president or whatever he was, vice president of United Healthcare. What did he accomplish? United Healthcare is exactly the same as it is. Luigi Mangione, you just wasted your life. United Healthcare didn't change. Why, people? Why do some people just throw their rest of their life away? You got to wake up behind bars, not for 10 years or 20 years. Jody now is spending the rest of her life in prison. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I just need to see more pictures. Why, Jody? Where is she now? There she is. All right. Let's get a YouTube video of her. I want you to hear her speak because she was so soft spoken at the courtroom. So let's look up Jody Arias trial. Let's get you some audio here. Let's see if we can get this out.
It's not immediately fatal, and it's not rapidly fatal. The other thing that the medical examiner found, but it would kill him, this stab to the heart. The other thing that the medical examiner found was that his throat was slit from ear to ear. And that one was rapidly fatal, which means it would have killed him very quickly because of the blood loss. Not only would it have killed him very quickly, but he would not have gained or had consciousness for a very long period of time. He would have almost immediately have lapsed into unconsciousness. So the one to the throat. Well, and the one to the head, well, again, since that involved the brain, and although the body was decomposed, according to the medical examiner, that one was also rapidly fatal. And additionally, he would lose consciousness immediately. Based on that, and based on the fact that Mr. Alexander in his hands had what the medical examiner is going to term as defensive wounds. In other words, Mr. Alexander did not die calmly. He fought. Whoever this person was that had killed him, he had fought, which meant that he was conscious at the time. So what that meant is that with regard to the injuries that were inflicted, according to the medical examiner, the first injury was the one to the heart. And when that was inflicted, Mr. Alexander at some point began to fight. And what he was able to do was grab the knife, but he grabbed the blade of the knife so that he has cuts in his hand as he's fighting, presumably for his life. They're called defensive wounds. And given that there was blood over the sink that we have over here, and that the sink is waist level, and that blood is coming down from a source, Mr. Alexander was able to get out from where he was standing at this point, go over to the sink, stand there and bleed. But those aren't the only wounds that he had. He had a grouping of wounds back here behind his neck, on his shoulders. He had some on his head. He had some on his ears. He had some here too. And by here, I mean his front torso area. So the first hit, if you will, was to the heart area. And he was walking around. He was grabbing the knife. He was trying to defend himself, and that's why they call him defensive. Given the blood spatter pattern, he ended up with 45. And she rented the car and said she was going to return it on June 6th of 2008. And in fact, she returned it on June 7th of 2008, and there was over 2,000 miles on that car. One of the other things that police were able to do is that they were able to find receipts. And I can tell you what happened. I arrived there sometime around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning of June 4th. When I arrived there, Travis was on the computer, and he was watching some sort of YouTube thing about some ladies with.
And that's what we're doing. We're watching YouTube. So there you go, guys. If you want to, go ahead and Google the Jodi Arias trial. It's just incredible. Wow. So I guess part of my channel is warning you guys for the future. Let me plug in my phone here. Asher, little 12-year-old Asher. It's good that you guys know these stories out here because you don't know. Travis met her at a conference in Las Vegas. Christopher Watts met his wife on Facebook. And you never know. You never know what lies beneath. You heard the lawyer. You heard it. You heard all what that girl did to him. Slitting a throat from ear to ear. There's hatred there. There's emotions into that. And that's what the jury saw. I want to see if we can get her talking. Look at her with her head down. What is she thinking? Let's look at this picture. What are you thinking? What do you guys think is going through her mind? You're hearing the gruesome details of what you just did.
And putting it, forgive me, in her ass all the way.
I'm sorry about that. I had no idea they were going to say that. Ay, ay, ay. Sorry, guys, about that. I hope nobody heard that.
But her hair pigtails for him. These photos were taken in the afternoon. Later that afternoon, Travis and Jodi were downstairs, and they were back in his den. They were pouring through pictures of all of their trips together, all the different pictures that they had. And there was a problem because Travis couldn't pull up pictures on his computer. And he was having a problem getting to see these pictures. Well, we know that there was a virus on Travis's computer. And we know that because of the forensic examination that was done. And so when he tried to pull up these pictures, it wasn't working right. Well, Travis's temper flared and he took the CD and he threw it up against the wall in the den.
Oh, he threw his CD. He didn't slit her throat.
Protective mode means that she's trying to calm him down, trying to do something to avoid his temper, telling him that it's okay, I'll fix it, don't worry about it.
She's thinking, what part of his neck am I going to cut?
She knew that the one thing that calms his temper the quickest is sex.
Okay.
So as she's telling him it's okay.
Okay, so you guys get the picture. We don't need to get into the graphic details. So let me get this right, Mrs. Defense Attorney. He throws a CD against the wall. He's a terrible guy. She stabs him 27 times and whoosh, ear to ear and shoots him in the head. So I think things are equal. We should just let them both off. Oh, he's dead. We can't let him off. I could not be a defense attorney. I could not try to get somebody like Jodi Arias off. Um, so, what's the lesson to be learned, everyone, from this? If you're a young man, even a young woman, we need to be very selective who we are meeting. Natalie Holloway, do we know that story? Sure, you do. Girl goes to Aruba on her high school trip. Thought that, Vanderbeek, Jordan Vanderbeek was a cool guy. Meets him in the casino. Dead. You got to be so extra careful when who you are deciding to trust, a stranger, because you don't know what lies beneath. Travis had no idea. I don't think he had any idea what she was capable of. I said this on my earlier videos, my teen line, that you got to wait at least 3 months. That's at the very minimum, 3 months before you know what somebody is truly like. Does anybody out there have a story where they met someone and after 3 months you found out they were a monster? I have one. My stepfather. My father left me, my brother, and my mother when I was 5 years old. He went down to Florida with another woman, and my mother immediately panicked. She didn't have a job, she didn't have college, nothing. She was a housewife. So she goes out to a bar and pretty much was ready, you know, to go home with the first guy that hit on her. She was looking for a replacement, a male figure, anybody. And little did I know, or little did she know, that the man who approached her was a monster. Now, not on this level, but just a horrible, horrible human being. He hits on my mother. They have a great time that night. Long story short, they end up getting married. He puts on the sweetest act in the beginning, and he turned out to be a monster. Just a verbally abusive, semi physically abusive, uh, chronic smoker, drinker, and a lot of other crazy, weird things. Uh, anyway, so tonight's video is a wake up call. People, when you meet someone new, you got to keep your guard up. And if you don't know anybody who knows the person, you have to be extra, extra careful because you don't know who are the Jodi Ariases out there. You don't know, like my stepfather, what lies beneath. The first 3 months, forget about it. The first 3 months, you're going to get fooled, tricked completely. So don't even pretend like that's who you're dealing with. This is what they're like. Oh, they're so kind and nice. No, a monster laid underneath. So, for you Gen Zers, be careful, be selective, start to investigate, talk to siblings, talk to their friends, Travis should have been finding out everything he could about Jody. I would like to know, talking to Jody's siblings, family members, would any of them said, "Oh yeah, I could see her killing when she gets angry." You know, that's the stuff I would like to know. Did Travis do any investigation? No. He just started being with her. And you see the fatal result. He fought for his life. So the fact that he was fighting for his life means that first shot, stab wound to the heart, must have done damage enough that a grown man couldn't defend himself. He must have been in some serious, critical condition, fighting for his life. Maybe she waited till he was washing his hair. She went right for the heart. She knew that she had to do significant damage uh, in order to, you know, survive herself. She couldn't just stab him in the back. She went for the heart, and then after he was, unable to defend himself, that poor guy, what he went through. Poor guy. Anyway, I want you to hear Jody. Let's find her talking. You guys have yet to hear her voice. So let's see if we can find.
All right, this is CR 2008-031-021, State of Arizona versus Jody and Arias. This is the time set for trial to begin. Is the state ready? Is the defense ready?
We are, Your Honor. Kurt Gurley and Jennifer Wilmot on behalf of Jody.
What I really have to tell you today is what happened. And what ended up happening is, and I'm just incredibly scared for my family. I'm just totally scared for my brother, sister, my family, my grandparents, because as a result of this killing, well, the people that really did this killing, they're the ones. These are the people that are out to get my parents. So, although I told you yesterday that I wasn't there, well, I'm telling you now that I was there. And I can tell you what happened. I arrived there sometime around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning of June 4th. When I arrived there, Travis was on the computer.
So we already watched that. So he's reiterating Jody's words.
Something on their head. It was just a silly video.
Jody changed her story so many times. Let's see if we can watch this. Jody breaks down.
You took your luggage and you placed it in your car. You remember we were talking about that?
Yes.
And one of the things that you were telling us was that you didn't remember what you had said on direct examination. You remember that?
I didn't remember the precise wording. That's correct.
Well, no, you didn't remember the time. It was more than the precise wording, wasn't it?
I don't remember the exact time. That's also correct.
And when I asked you if it was closer to 5, you weren't able to tell me, were you?
Yes.
And in fact, what the exchange was on direct examination was that you were asked, so you say you're packing your luggage or you packed your luggage in your car and you're getting ready to leave. And the question was, do you remember about what time of the day that this was when you were packing your car and getting ready to leave? And you said, I don't. It was after that. I think it was after 2, I'm sure. So it was after 2 o'clock that
Is she a psycho?
you took everything and put it down at the car, correct?
That makes sense.
When you say that makes sense, although it makes sense, I'm asking you if that's what happened.
Well, it would have been after 2 because before 2 we were having sex.
Pardon?
Before 2 we were otherwise engaged.
But after 2 o'clock, the way you're saying it is you're saying it could be 6 o'clock in the evening. It was after 2. Specifically, it was around 2 o'clock when you actually put the luggage in the car, right?
It was after 2 o'clock. I don't know how close to 2 o'clock.
So it could have been between 2 and... So you're telling us it was shortly after 2
What do you
o'clock
guys
based
think?
on that statement, right?
Does she look like
I
she
just know it
could
would have been after
have
we
done that?
did what we were doing.
And was it shortly after you did what you were doing?
Well, maybe, maybe not. I guess it's relative. I just know that was after what we were doing. I don't remember the exact time.
I just want to know how much time after you and he got done doing what you were doing. You said 2 o'clock. What time, in terms of hour or minute, how much time elapsed after that you took your items down to the car?
I'm not sure.
And so when you say you're not sure, you were a little
She
bit more sure
doesn't
on direct
want to
examination, weren't
incriminate
you?
herself.
Not on exact time, no.
But you were more sure about the time. Do you want me to read it back to you?
Objection, ask and answer.
Overruled.
I was more, wait,
I
you
mean,
asked me
guys,
two
come.
questions.
This
Well,
is
answer the first one then. You're ready to answer that.
I was,
so. It's no surprise, right? Jody gets convicted. Um, she's very fortunate that the jury could not agree on the death sentence. But anyway, let's find out why she really was on the news here. Was it just that she's switching teams? Let's take a look. Jody addresses case for the first time in years, claiming lost evidence. Let's take a listen.
Okay, so you guys know we did a documentary called Obsessed, Unraveling Jodi Arias last year in November. We looked into her psychology, and part of that documentary was revealing the fact that she is running a blog from prison. Now, as people know, Jodi Arias was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for killing her ex-boyfriend Travis Alexander back in 2008 in his Mesa, Arizona home. She stabbed him in the shower 27 times. She shot him, then she lied about it, tried to get away with it, and it ended up becoming basically the most salacious trial of the turn of the century, and honestly, one of the most salacious trials that has ever happened in U.S. history. So she's been in prison. She is somebody who likes attention. She wasn't able to talk to me due to her attorneys in her appeal. But she did email me during the production of the documentary, and she runs this blog. You're seeing it on your screen. It's called Just Jodi. And in it, she talks about her daily life and her thoughts and her feelings and her opinions. And it's really the same that she did when she was writing in her journal before and after the murder of Travis Alexander. She has a very specific tone. It's fairly snarky, yada, yada, yada. The thing is, typically, she does not address the case at all in her blog posts. And that was something that I knew we were going to struggle with the documentary, because she just wouldn't talk about it anymore. It was more about, hey, do you want to know what I'm baking? Or do you want to know about my pet bird named April? Or do you want to know what I think about smoking or AI? It was like things like that.
So this still doesn't answer the question.
In this
I want to know why she's in the news. Sorry about that, guys. Gotta find out why Jody's in the news. Stackable. Substack. Anybody use Substack out there? I'll have to look into that. I'll ask my son. Why is Jodi Arias in the news? Can't believe the Flyers choked that game up 2-1. Jodi is currently in the news due to her ongoing legal challenges and her efforts to challenge her conviction for the murder. She's been writing a blog and has been active on Substack. I'll have to look more into this Substack. Jaden, is that you? Have you ever heard of Substack? Oh, my 14-year-old's never heard of it. Arias has also been involved in prison life, selling artwork, teaching creative writing. Her recent posts have sparked speculation about her legal strategy and the possibility of reopening her case. So there, Isak, you got the answer to your question. She may be reopening the case. Yeah. All right. So I think we beat up Jodi Arias pretty good. We're going to keep an eye on this. And I'd like to know some of your thoughts, some of your stories. Do you know somebody capable of doing what she did? I mean, I know some crazy people out there. But to do that, man, I don't know, guys. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up there for tonight. If you can, I'd like to hear some of your feedback, your comments on this case, what you think of Jodi Arias, and do you know anybody like Jodi Arias? Not many people do. All right, guys, we will pick this up tomorrow. Time for bed. Remember, we're going to brush. We're going to floss. Asher, if you're watching this on the replay, yes, brush and floss every single night. We don't go to bed without brushing and flossing. Everyone. And when you wake up in the morning, empty stomach, tablespoonful of organic, cold pressed, extra virgin olive oil. There's no debating that. It's every morning on an empty stomach. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. We'll talk tomorrow night. I'm going to schedule the live stream. Oh, wait, let's see who our top 3 fans are. All right, coming in at number 1 is Speedy Vlogs. Speedy Vlogs. I don't even know if you spoke to me. Isak comes in at number 2, and BNA with a very, very long name. I'd really like to know, is that your real name, BNA? Let's go through the rest of the list real quick here while we have a. Yes, Zarmos. Zarmos, you should have been in the top 3. And after that, Megan and Luca coming in at number 6. So congratulations, everyone. My top 3 are going to be on a thumbnail. I'm going to have Bruce, my AI companion, make a thumbnail right after this video. And your name's going to be on it for 2,300 people to see. Thank you guys for watching Daily Dosage F. I'm taking another screenshot just for you.